hope that was some good footage of that camera falling off the car. So I look forward to seeing this posted on Facebook. And, you know, I'll give you the over the shoulder and the whole panoramic of what's going on out here today with this really cool camera. So, hey!
Hey guys, we're at Racing Byrds again, and today is the night races. So it's been a very, very long day. We drove up last night through a thunderstorm and got here about 11:30. So it's been a pretty eventful 24 hours, I'll say. This morning we got up, brought the car, we got it all ready, already changed tires, changed the camber plates, pulled everything out of it to get ready for it. And the event started a little bit late, but everybody's out and already going. I believe they're on group 2. So we're group 6, so it'll be a little bit darker. So I apologize if video quality isn't amazing because there's not a whole lot of light, but we'll do what we can. But we got out here, did everything. It's been super hot. It was about 97 degrees, give or take. This is the mid 90s. And yeah, it was something that I wasn't prepared for, but not too prepared for. And got all the things ready to go. And we went out and did a couple little things. We went to Shelby American and did a tour of their facility, and it was a lot of fun. We actually got to meet the vice president of Shelby American, and he kind of gave us some insights on a lot of stuff that they're doing. All the way up through 2028. I don't want to divulge any information if I'm not able to. So, but that was a lot of fun. And yeah, right now driver's meeting done, got all of that stuff taken care of. So, but yeah, for right now we're just getting ready. I'm gonna check tire pressures one more time, get the GoPro set up, and then we're off racing. Let's do it. right, Peter. Tell me about your car and how your first track day went.
So mine's a 92 Fox body, built by JBA, SLA suspension, IRS rear suspension. First set of runs down, car was good. First run, car was a little loose. Second, the tires came into temperature. So then the second run was the best run with a 46.8, which I believe is leading the class right now in classic muscle. Third run wasn't as smooth. Tires got a little too hot, and the car developed a bit of a push to it. So I think today it's going to be your second run's going to be the money run, where you got to really put it together, because the third, the tires might get a little too much temperature in them to make them work right. So
gotcha. Okay.
So looking forward to second set of runs and see how we do. See if we can shave some more time off. These next set of runs, I think what I'm going to try and do is clean up some areas that I can tell that I'm pushing the car either a little too hard, or I might be backing off a little too soon. I think the car can hold a little bit more, so it's going to be a matter of I think putting it together. Like my fastest lap was a good lap. I did put it together pretty well, but I still think there was a couple areas where I could place the car better, and I just wasn't. I overdrove it into it, which kind of messed me up for a couple other parts to it. So I think cleaning up the lap is what I'm going to start focusing on. Now I have a good base. I kind of know where I'm at. So now it's time to piece the good sections together and turn it into a good lap, a perfect lap.
Sweet.
I guess.
All
as
right,
less perfect as I can make it.
Yeah. right, guys, it's day 2 of Racing Byrds, and we are underway, and we're on group number 2. It's been another long day. Just got to get the car a little bit set up for just getting ourselves ready. I purposely did not do a closing for yesterday's video, mainly because it was super late. So we ended up finishing like about 2 a.m., 2:30, and by the time we were done putting things away, it was 3 a.m. and I was exhausted. Figured I would start on day 2. And day 2 is probably going to be the same thing, where I close it out either tomorrow or sometime in the future. But yesterday was really, really well. Our best time yesterday was a 48.3. From my understanding, it was a clean run, so really excited and was super, super happy with being able to push the car a little bit more and see where we were able to get ourselves after it was all said and done. We started out with a 51 and then just slowly chipped away from a 51 to a 50, then to a 49, and then just stuck, and then just did a little fun and at the last one, and I think that really helped. But I also did a little bit of prep work prior to that. So after my third run, I came in, put some water on the tire, and before I jumped back in the car, and I thought to myself, why don't I add a little bit of water to the intercooler for the Pro Charger, just to see if that helps keep internal temps down. I'm not sure if it helped. It could just be mentally that it helped, but we're gonna see today if maybe that does do anything. Sun's coming down, so it's starting to get a little bit cooler. It's still super hot. It got about 106 degrees, 108, and it's just, yeah, it's still really warm, but it's finally starting to cool down a bit, so it's nice to be able to not be sweating the entire time. Chelsea already went, and she was able to shave off a couple seconds off of her runs. She started at a 58, got down to a 56, and now she ended with a 54. Yeah, we're excited to see kind of where things end off going, and the car's just been working and running really well. You know, shout out to Rusty for the alignment. Shout out to Randy, who's not here this weekend, for helping me kind of understand what I needed to do to really get a little more focused and push the car a little bit harder. And now I kind of understand a little bit more how to read the line and throttle, just more throttle, less brake, and brake hard where you need it. So everybody else is kind of getting ready to go. I think Balzer just went out, Mike Balzer, and I'm still group 6, so we got a little bit of time. I'm gonna try and interview some more people after their first runs, and let's get to racing. guys, so I'm just making this quick video. I'm about to do my last run, so I didn't record my second set of runs because I was running into some issues, as you guys saw in my first set of runs. The issue is StabiliTrak was not fully turning off. Traction control was off, and normally when you hold the traction control button for about 5 seconds, it turns off everything. And for some reason, the car did not want to do that. So I was running around just trying to figure out a way to either reset it or reset the car. I needed to grab a laptop and reflash the car with the tune, and that didn't help. I did unplug the car for 15 minutes. That didn't help either. So I did the second set of runs. What I ended up doing was just putting about 27 PSI into the tires, and then just drove around a little bit, and then it kicked back on, or it turned all the way off. So I'm not entirely sure what happened. It just could be that I was actually driving with my track tires on at a full PSI all day today, but then I'm not sure why. For some reason, it just decided not to do it anymore. So once we saw that it, on my first run, it was working, I ended up lowering it back down to 25, and it was working. So yeah, not sure exactly what happened, but I think that might be the issue. That it just is too low with PSI. Though I was doing that yesterday and there was no problem, so I'm not exactly sure what happened. But yeah, just wanted to jump in here real quick, and hopefully the StabiliTrak stays off for the next set of runs. If not, then I know how to get that back off, and then I'll lower it back down once the StabiliTrak comes back on, and then do what we can. So yeah, so that's what I just wanted to do. Here's more racing. All right, guys, so I am here a couple days later after the Racing Bird event, and man, what a wild weekend. I am exhausted. That last night was pretty crazy. So I waited a couple days mainly because, one, we ended around 2:30 that night, and by the time I was done, I changed the tires, changed the camber plates back to the street setting, and I was just exhausted. And I knew that I was going to be driving pretty far, a long drive as well, just because of traffic. So I just wanted to kind of just get it all done and over with and get back home. Very long drive. It got to about 118 degrees at one point, and because of the Pro Charger, there's so much more heat that's generated. I honestly had to drive with the heater on and the windows slightly down so I could get some of that heat out of the motor, because the oil temperature was getting up to 250 degrees, and the coolant was getting up to about 240. So I wanted to make sure that I could at least make it home with no problem. I wanted to make this, the ending of this video just to kind of recap what happened. And as you guys saw, I was having some issues with the traction control, or at least the StabiliTrak, and come to find out that I think the car can know when the PSI in the tires are too low. TPMS sensors are not in my track tires. I'm not sure what the problem was, but apparently 24 PSI was too low. So I just put it to 27, drove around, and it turned off. So I did a run, and that was my second session. I don't have any of those videos, as you guys saw. I kind of just jumped straight into the third session because I wasn't sure if the second session was going to be worth filming. I just wasn't sure if the traction control was still going to work, because I've ran into that problem where I can fully turn everything off, but the car will still throw on the StabiliTrak randomly, and then I'm kind of SOL at that point. Because the first session, I was just heating the brakes like crazy. I mean, you could smell the brakes right after each session. And then after my third run, I mean, I barely had brakes. I really had to step onto it. There was so much brake fade. So I had to drive around for a little bit just to help really die down the heat in the brakes. And once I was able to get onto that second run, I did everything I could. I tried to retune the car. I tried to do everything that I could, but short of actually going in the tune and disabling StabiliTrak. Now, because I daily the car, I don't want to do that. One, because I do drive in rain, I do drive in different environments and elements as well. So I'd rather be on the safe side and keep StabiliTrak on than to turn it off completely and something happen. I will say I've driven in rainy weather, or even heated weather where the tires are a little too hot and car's a little squirrely, even just cold mornings, right? And I've had the car kind of step out a little bit and StabiliTrak kicked in. So plus when I have either somebody in the car or I have Chelsea with me, I'd rather us be safe, just because I want the car to do what I want on the track, and it ultimately hurts us or hurts her doing something. So eventually this car will be a track car only. We'll get that disabled, and every once in a while I'll drive the car, just to because I love driving this thing. So but we're starting to get to the point where we're now suffering at track times because we are accounting for streetability. Get away from that, we have to eventually stop driving the car as a daily and more of a weekend, type thing, and track use only. Which sucks, it hurts me. I love driving this thing every day, but it's part of it, right? Once I was able to kind of get that fixed, then, second run was great. Got some really good times. One of my fastest times was a 48.6 or something, I can't remember. Unfortunately, I can't post up any of my times because they didn't post them. The car did great. I felt good. I was a little tired, I was a little sore from driving, and the biggest thing though was just the time that we were running. It was almost 1 a.m. and mind you, I had been up since either 9 a.m. that day, the day prior, and so it was just a long day. I try to take a nap throughout the day, but I'm not much of a midday napping person. I did my best to stay awake, and no energy drinks for me, but try and drink water and move and do what I can to keep myself awake and alert. But overall, the last sessions were good. Just couldn't beat my times. You know, I thought I could get a 47, but the car just wasn't having it. Tires weren't having it. So it is what it is. But a great time with the Racing Byrds, as always, with JBA. That's, you know, truly appreciate all of them being with us. We had Jay come out with us, and he was out there running the Cobra, and he did some really good times as well. Unfortunately, I wanted to interview some more people, but again, it was getting later and later, and people were just getting more tired, and no one really kind of wanted to talk. And I understand that, because I mean, you're dealing with the heat, you're dealing with just being tired, you're dealing with trying to keep up with everything, and I don't think this event was best for trying to interview some of the drivers. So in September's event, I'm gonna try and do a little bit more. It'll still be super hot, but I think at that point we'll have a little bit more of a better chance to talk with Peter, Austin, Mike, and I'm not sure if Jay will be going to that event, but we'll try and get him, and I don't know, maybe trying to interview some people, try and interview Rob, and try and get some more people to be, you know, talk about their cars and stuff. So I'm glad I was able to interview Peter, so that was great. But that's kind of it. I appreciate everybody watching and subscribing. You know, we're on the road to try and getting 1,000 subscribers and trying to get those watch hours, so that way we can get monetized and get the car a little bit more set up. And I do plan to do a couple more suspension things, maybe not by September, just trying to do what I can maybe within the next few months to try and just get the car a little bit more set up, and maybe seeing about playing with maybe deeper camber settings, and I don't know, maybe trying to see if we can get more camber in the rear of the car. Yeah, the next thing is September's event. I don't think there's any SCCA events happening. The biggest thing is, you know, I truly appreciate everybody coming out, coming and watching the videos, and being a part of the channel. So that's where I'll leave off from here. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.